Oh, Christ, this is the fucking BBC again. And now, from the depths of syphilis, see if you can stand this crap.
About the post-production and editing things down, then you can actually get stuff out there really quickly, and that's a really good benefit of podcasting. I know the Radio Free Skaro guys, much to my chagrin, yesterday actually recorded a podcast in the bar here, and I didn't quite realise they were doing that when I was over there. And I spoke to them, and they put up their podcast, which I imagine is is available to download now.
But it was posted last night, and Benjamin Elliott from This Week in Doctor Who has already listened to it, commented on it, critiqued it.
Yeah. Somebody's done a podcast and it's out there and up there now, and we're not even, a third of the way into the production. It's easy to do podcast commentary once a week because you sit in front of a programme and you talk about it.
I think lack of topics probably drove us to fan commentary.
Yeah.
No, our desire to do a show a week is, it's a slow news week, what do we do? Unfortunately, we got Talons of Wing Giants, which was the toughest episode of all to do, because we're sitting there
watching it.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
Yeah. We had 3 minutes with the rat, and that was basically the best bit we could run.
Leela is being menaced by both transparent underwear and a giant rat, and now has to trust the aim of the Doctor and his giant elephant gun.
His blunderbuss.
Blunderbuss. My blunderbuss is all powerful.
And our favorite one to date, I think, was the Monster of Peladon. We got that.
We just ripped into it.
We cut it to pieces.
This looks like a gay bathhouse. Quite honestly, look at this guy. You ever seen a grown man naked, Billy?
Oh, here we go. Thank God Alpha Centauri
and
is on the
speaking
scene.
of phallic creatures.
Yeah.
Stuart fell.
Yeah, here's John Pertwee phoning it in by this point.
Oh, totally, yes.
I think he's pretty much given his 2 weeks notice.
No, Ice Warrior.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wicked, awesome. He's just coming out to get some pizza.
Well, I mean, how interesting is a podcast where people are going, oh, that's great acting, oh, that's great writing, all the way through. It's not particularly interesting to listen to. We started off doing them and they went down quite well. We got good responses to them. And when we stopped doing them the first time around, we got lots of requests to keep doing them.
We talked a little bit while you weren't here, John, about Sylvester McCoy's sex wink.
Right.
We've decided that he's only winking at me.
But we weren't happy with the quality of it because, in a way, we start to bore ourselves with the easy targetness of it.
That's a bit sad, this, isn't it? Hartnell's bath chair.
Ah, there you are.
But the whole of Hartnell's era would have been much better if they'd have stuck him in a triangular box and held up the lines in front of him off camera.
Do you think?
I think so. I think it would have improved things a lot.
That's a controversial...
No! Doctor, no!
Doctor, yes! Wow.
We'll never know what happened to them.
Let's leave them hanging there. Let's imagine that Pertwee and Joe were horribly killed. And it was just left for Troughton to continue as a Doctor in an alternative universe. And it would have been so much better. Loads of Troughton in colour.
We would love to do next year like a Radio Row thing here. The way you do at a media junket for a movie or a television show, where we have our table set up outside and make it easy that we'll attract a guest coming. They come sit with you for a minute, they come sit with us for a minute.
That would make sense,
And then also the visibility of it all would be like, wow, what's going on here? What's this thing with podcasting? Look, there's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, depending on who comes next year. And that adds the strength to, and then legitimizes what we're doing.
The thing about podcasting, which is quite odd, is you generally don't get much feedback. You can put out something that takes hours to do, and sometimes days to do, and then there's just a silence. And coming to something like this convention is great because you actually meet people who go, yes, I know, I listen to your podcast, and that's a great thing.
When you have an audience loyalty, if you put out something good, they'll find you.
They actually start chatting live to a mic, and then we go back and anything that we don't think is funny we cut out. if we're obsessed with anything, it's about keeping it as short as possible.
Post-production is just where we do an audio podcast. So it's a audio editing software. It could be anything from GarageBand, Audacity. There's various different options out there.
I mean, A, we're not skilled enough, for one. Maybe you are, but we aren't, at editing the thing together. And B, we just don't have as much time. Yeah. So I think we sort of rely on the spontaneity of it all.
We used to work in TV together in Master Control and did nothing but talk about Doctor Who endlessly for 8-hour shifts, like for years. So we've already got that down.
This is how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started. And then one day we decided we should do this 1 hour a week. Right. And so we've got backstory beyond backstory. Right. So we have a good chemistry, and then Chris keeps us on an even keel because he's the fact checker.
Yeah.
He whips us in the line once we start blabbing one.
I think that's the marvelous thing about podcasting, particularly when you're doing something for a sci-fi show, is that every podcast has something different that they bring to the table.
It's not this kind of zero-sum game where if somebody listens to one, then the other one can't get listeners.
Yeah.
It's just,
There's 45 years of information out there. There's so much media coming out, not just new episodes, but audio dramas. There's so much to cover. No one podcast can cover it all. So, and then each podcast has its own different style, its own different take. So, and it's just a benefit for fans. The fans win out because they can have a selection of podcasts to listen to.